You got to know when to load 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to let the camera run, know when to say cut. You never count your viewers when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the shooting's done.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that one.
All right, did you?
I like that
That's a little Kenny Rogers action going on right there.
And I play a lot of poker, so I like to listen to
Everybody, welcome to the next episode of Lot Live here in the Randall Ford Studios.
What episode are we on?
We are on episode number 38?
37.
37.
Thought I'd catch you off guard on that one.
Yeah, you did, because I thought you were going to ask me how many subscribers we had, because that number took a big leap.
What is it at now?
I think we were at 29.
Are we?
Is that, yeah. That's
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because I told all my family that you don't have to get me anything for Christmas, just subscribe. And so
that was easy.
Yeah, they
quick and easy. Yeah,
I've got like 4 of them left, and so there we go. 25, 29. There we go.
Well, we just need that 30th subscriber there.
Yeah. Anybody, please help us out, because now my Christmas is going to suck. So, I mean,
go ahead and get that 30th subscriber. And how you subscribe is there is a link above. If you want to click on it, it goes to our YouTube. If you're on Facebook, if not, if you're just on YouTube, there's a subscribe button under the video. You can hit the like and share. Press that subscribe button, and it helps us out. Gets 30 subscribers.
Here's, I'm a tech guy, so I've got some tips for you if you can do this.
Sure.
It's like these are things that are going to help you enjoy our podcast even more. Almost every TV these days has a mute button. If you'll just turn it on, hit mute, let it run. You don't have to listen to us. Just let it run. We go through. It helps the algorithm. We get our views. You're not annoyed by Andrew. Helps everybody out. It's a win-win situation that way. Whenever your TV doesn't seem to work later, remember the mute button's on. Hit the mute button again. Sound comes back.
Do you watch TV?
Yeah, I watch TV. I've got the TV in the old living room that went out, so you set the other TV on top.
I have a TV.
Actually, that goes back to my childhood. That's how we did it.
I have a TV in my living room I don't even think I've used.
Really?
Not once.
You never, as a child, had to be the antenna?
No. No.
I was watching TV back before they had cable. I remember whenever cable came to Coal Hill, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
But before you had cable, every house had a big antenna attached to the roof, usually a great big metal thing that's out there, and sometimes the reception wouldn't be good, so you'd have to like turn the antenna. That one person would be outside turning the antenna, and you'd yell at them because not everybody had air conditioning back then, so you'd say, turn it a little bit more. Whoa, there you go, stop. And then you could see one of your 3 stations. Sometimes 4.
3 stations. There's like
you had the 3 local networks, and then you had PBS, which was the educational network.
Y'all didn't watch that one, did you?
Yeah. Well, it had a few good shows in the morning. You get up, you had Sesame Street, which was okay, and then you got into the meat of it. You'd have Electric Company, which was really good. Electric Company, a lot of people don't know this, Morgan Freeman was on Electric Company.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know what Electric Company is, besides the TV
But
show.
it was a pretty good show. It was fun. It had more enjoyable stuff as a child. After that, it was nothing. So if you decided to stay home sick from school, you watch those 3 things. Then you got like a little Price is Right, something like that. And then it came to, as your grandparents would call it, their shows, which were the soap operas that would be on all 3 networks.
That doesn't sound fun.
TV time was over. You might as well have gone to school. Because if you were faking it, then you could go outside and play. If you weren't faking it, you're actually sick, then you're just screwed.
Screwed, just laying in bed, not doing nothing.
Yeah, watching Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, no, me and my grandpa were talking about that actually, just the time difference. He was like, oh, I'd rather live the time that we're living now than back in the day. He's like, main reason is because of air conditioning, central heat and air and stuff like that. He's like, that's so nice. He's like, I would not go back in the day because it used to be hot.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Well, it still is hot, but now you have something
Central
to
heat and air,
fix
yeah.
it.
I've never had to live without it, so I don't know.
Yeah, you spoiled little child, you.
Is that the word you're going to use?
I remember for a while then before the big central air conditioning, then it'd be window units.
Yeah, window
And
units.
as kids, you just gather around the window. Water coolers that weren't actually air conditioner, but you'd pour water over the outside and it would blow out air that was a little bit cooler than just your standard air.
The farthest back of TV that I could go, like, is holding my hands over the receiver so that my sister can't change the channel. That's as far as back as I go.
With a remote.
Yeah, with a remote. Yeah, I had a remote.
I was the remote as a child. I would go up and go, flip the channels.
We had a remote. It's just I'd hold my hands over it.
And then we had a corded remote, which it was remote control, but it had a long cord that we could. So, but it would still work, so you could sit there and flip the station.
Those are dinosaur
flip the channels.
ages. I've never even seen one of those.
Yeah. Have you ever seen black and white TV?
No. Well, if I ever edit videos, I edit some in black and white.
Yeah, because now it's retro and cool.
Yeah.
It used to be all you could get.
Yeah, no, I'd never watched black and white videos.
Yeah.
That just seems boring. I'm colorblind anyway, so it doesn't really.
What was the fewest amount of channels you ever had to suffer through?
Like 500.
We had 4 unless it was cloudy, and sometimes 2 would be a little fuzzy. So you didn't really. There's some of the shows you would have to watch that you didn't really want to watch that you would get stuck watching. Partly because I was a child and I didn't really get to pick what I watched, but I am well versed in the show called Hee Haw.
No.
A lot of people don't know about that. Going back even further, the Lawrence Welk show. It was about like an orchestra was on there, and they would get on there and do waltzes and dancing, and I don't even remember what else. Did not enjoy it. Did not enjoy it at all.
I wonder what kind of stuff they used back in the day for like camera and recordings and stuff like that, because
You see, it was those things that had on the big wheel that probably weighed like 500 pounds on the big.
It's crazy.
The cameras were like this big that shot that
now
stuff.
We're using a small little camera that does all the job for us.
Yeah, it was crazy. But on the other hand, because TV was not that good, even though I didn't know there was more TV to come, I spent so much of my childhood outside.
Yeah.
Usually because the door was locked after my mom would kick me out. She wouldn't let me back in the house until it was supper time.
Yep.
But I spent so much time outside. The kids today don't really. I mean, whenever you were growing up, did you spend more time inside or outside? On the video game or outside?
I was kind of the same thing with you, like on that part, is that my parents didn't want me to play video games and go watch TV. They always kicked me outside because they were like, go play, you need to go play. You don't need to be stuck on watching a screen. It's bad for you is what they say. They'd say it's bad for you, which is now you can actually go to...
Doctors have said that doesn't apply to YouTube and the live podcast.
No,
so
actually,
it is good for you.
It's not necessarily bad for you. So if you're like a mom and out there that you think you're like, man, I don't know what to do because my child won't get off video games, because video games is very big now.
You are not alone.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it's not necessarily bad because, for one, it helps their hand-eye coordination very well, because your time period of learning hand-eye coordination gets even better from all the way from when you're young to about 20, 21, and that's when it slows down. I can't do that anymore. There's kids that are 8 years old beat me at video games that I've been playing for 10 years, and it irritates me. But the thing is, though, is that you can also go to college for video games. They have college plays and stuff like that, and you can make a lot of money playing video games. I know for you that sounds insane, but there is millionaires out there that play video games, millionaires that play streaming, and there's a streamer almost every day that gets recognized and just becomes a multimillionaire just off of streaming and playing video games.
Yeah. When I was a child, streaming it's like also called creeking. You'd go down to the creek and you would get in there and you would hunt crawdads. So that was a fun thing to do.
So I used to build
turtles.
I used to build dams.
Yeah, you build dams out there.
For your little crawdad community. Yeah. I used to do that too.
I remember it was like I'd always be scared of like finding a snake, and then somebody told me that snakes can't bite if they're underwater. So, okay, I'm safe. So I'm out there, and then later they said, oh yeah, they can. So totally freaked me out again whenever I found out snakes can't bite underwater.
I heard the same thing when I was young, and then when I got older, they're like, yeah, they how do you think they get fish? And I'm like, I'm scared now. I'm terrified. I don't even want to get bit by a snake underwater.
There's your warning about streaming.
Yeah.
You can't get bit by a snake if you're streaming underwater.
No, don't do that.
Okay. Another topic we need to cover real fast. We talked about lawmen,
we did.
sheriffs, whatever. We ran through. I want to thank all you people that did participate and send in your messages and your votes. So we do have the bracket drawn up. The final four ended up being John McClane from Die Hard.
Yeah.
Versus Roscoe P. Coltrane from Dukes of Hazzard. I know you're not familiar with him, but he was very popular, got a lot of votes.
John McClane.
Raylan Givens from Justified, one of my personal favorites. Love Raylan. Such a cool guy. I know, I don't care. Andy Griffith. Hard thought on there.
Yeah.
Andy Griffith, good old time. Him and Opie.
Yeah.
And his deputy, Barney Fife. But those ended up being the final four. It was a hard fought battle, but it was John McClane versus Roscoe P. Coltrane.
So Rodney
is not in there. Rodney will be here in a few weeks. That says Raylan, but that is a different. I don't know if you know how brackets work.
Chicken scratch.
Yeah, I don't know if you know how brackets work, but this is how it works. We're talking about these right here.
Oh, gotcha.
So John McClane versus Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Dang, you already know who the winner is?
Yeah, well, that's what we're going over right now.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
it's, everybody voted, so you just go off the votes off of that. I don't know if you know how this world works.
I didn't.
Obviously, you don't. So anyway, Roscoe, he called Flash to help out. It was a tough battle with John. Flash was not helpful. Flash was the old basset hound, didn't want to get out of the police car. So John McClane did advance to the finals.
Yep. Go, John.
Second round, Raylan versus Andy Griffith. Andy had his deputy, Barney, called on Barney. Barney got to carry one, I don't know if you remember this, Barney always got to carry one bullet for his gun because he couldn't have a loaded gun because he shot his foot a couple times, a few other things. So he got that one bullet, but he wore a different shirt that day. Didn't have his bullet in the shirt. Probably went off in the washing machine. So bad day, or the dryer. Bad day at the Fife household. But that cost Andy the win, so it ended up being John McClane versus Raylan Givens. If they could just make a TV show. If that could be a TV show with John McClane and Raylan Givens on it, I would watch it all day long. It would be like, hey, where's Chris at? Why is he not on the podcast? He's watching the Raylan and John show.
I still wouldn't watch that show.
Yeah, we don't really care about you. You'd be playing streaming games, whatever it is.
I would be.
But anyway, in a tough battle, John McClane did come out as the number one law person in the universe.
Let's go, brother. John wins.
Whatever that is.
Go, John. Andrew, the other manager, he was actually like, my son was telling me about that the other day.
The Let's Go Brother.
Let's go, brother.
Duck, duck, goose.
Tuesday. I would say the other thing he says, but I'm not going to say that one. So.
We'll get another censor.
Yeah, well, no, it won't get censored at all, but it's just, I don't know. I don't want to get canceled, culture, even though he says it, but
don't
crazy.
Don't get us canceled. We've worked hard for these 29 subscribers. Don't get us canceled before we get to 30. Or before I get to 60.
Yeah. Next week?
We got a couple weeks, actually. Yeah. That was the law thing. I
did want to go over rates. There is 1.9 for 72 months on brand new F150s, and I think $1,000 cash.
Yes, on 23 F-150s,
23
our
F-150s.
supply is getting limited.
Yes, very, very low. I think we got about 6 out there, probably.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some pretty cool ones.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of savings on them, but they are starting to roll in with the 24s. So those 23s, they are really offering some big savings, trying to get those gone. Other dealers are running out of them as well. Mm-hmm. Every day I get in, my email is flooded with people wanting to dealer trade for that. I'm trying to hold on to ours. I don't want to send them off. I want the great people here in Fort Smith and River Valley to have the opportunity to get these 23s at that 1.9 rate. So I'm not sending those out. I'm holding on to them unless we can get something that is also a 23 back. So it might not be best for everybody, but that's what I'm doing for all you beautiful people out there.
Yeah, so, especially here at Randall Ford.
Yes. So help us get in here. Help us
get rid of these trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help us make that pay off by getting here, taking advantage of that 1.9 and $1,000.
And if you are looking for a 24 brand new F-150, we have those too. We have them out there. They are showing up on the lot. We got a pretty blue one yesterday that we dealer traded for one of those 23 Explorers, because a dealer literally doesn't have a 23 Explorer, 23 truck, 23 anything. And he asked us, he said, well, can we have your 23 Explorer? We ended up trading for a 24 truck because he had no 23s to give back to us. So, but it was I believe, a Lariat, chromed out blue. Oh, it looks so good. It's a new body design. The front bumper, you just gotta check out these 24s because they're super cool. But there is no special rate on those either.
No.
There is a little bit of rebate in cash though.
Yeah, and sometimes in this car business, you just realize there are certain windows that will pop up where there is a vehicle line that is getting ready to switch over to a new year.
Yep.
And if you pay attention to that, that is when you can really get the best opportunity to get a great deal.
Yep.
Like 1.9. I mean, there's still people coming in every day, 800 credit scores, asking about rates, and you send those over. I mean, they're not touching a 1.9.
No.
It is, that rate is still staying.
5 to 0 behind it.
Yeah, the Fed is being pesky about these rates. They just keep holding them up, and then every time you hear the news, they're like, well, we're going to keep them here a little bit longer.
I realize it's probably because they think, they're like, man, we are making so much money, why would we quit? That does make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you stop making money if you're making a lot of it? If there's people's going to do it, then they're going to do it.
Well, and there are people that are way smarter than me making these decisions, and I know there are people way smarter than you doing everything in the world.
Correct. Every day basis.
In every aspect of the world, there are people way smarter than you.
Yeah, my customers come in and are smarter than me.
That's just another one of those life truisms.
Okay, easy.
But you had the age thing going, so
I know. You had to jab. I had to jab a little bit on your age. I still do it off camera, and he still does it off camera too. I think it's a constant throughout the day. But we should probably get
a lot of times whenever people say, it's like, why do you guys fight so much? It's like, because we hate each other.
But on that note, we're not going to keep it very long. It's already at 16 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm trying not to keep them at
whenever
20
you
minutes.
cut out the bad stuff, then it's going to be, we'll be pushing a 2-minute podcast.
So I just got to cut out Chris talking, and we will make it about 10 minutes. But if you don't mind, go ahead and click the link above. Click the link. Subscribe to our YouTube. Go ahead and press the like on there. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe is at the bottom. Shoot a comment on there. Interact with us. We'll comment back and say something with you. If you have any questions or anything like that, we will answer on the podcast so you can get an actual live answer. Woo! But yeah, that's all we got today. So we'll wrap it up.
See ya.